When Rihanna landed in Barbados this week, it wasn't for a concert, a Fenty launch, or a luxury vacation. It was for something far more personal and devastating. The global icon returned home not as a superstar but as a grieving daughter. Her father, Ronald Fenty, had passed away in May at age 70, and the island nation stood still as Rihanna came back to say her final goodbye. Dressed in elegant white, holding her son Riot in her arms, and pregnant with her third child, she walked into the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium with quiet power. There was no flashy entrance, no staged press moments, just family. Just grief. Just raw, unfiltered emotion. Behind her, A$AP Rocky carried RZA, completing a picture of unity and strength. In that moment, the world saw Rihanna not as a superstar, but as a human being navigating the tender ache of goodbye. This wasn't just a funeral. It was a national moment. A cultural event. The celebration of life for Ronald Fenty wasn't flashy or loud, but it was powerful. Local leaders, celebrities, family, and fans gathered to pay tribute to a man who lived a complicated life, one filled with mistakes, love, and redemption. It wasn't just a visit, it was a full-circle moment. Rihanna, the global icon, came back as a daughter in mourning, a mother shielding her children from the weight of loss, and a woman confronting the complex legacy of the man who helped shape her. This moment was more than personal, it was generational. Rihanna brought her sons back to her roots. The same street that raised her. The same soil that watched her grow from a young Barbadian girl into a global mogul. She stood in unity with her siblings Rujad, Rory, Samantha, Candy, Jamie, and Ronald's fiancée, Rosemary. A family once torn apart now stood together in grief. And let's not forget what this really means. Rihanna is saying goodbye to her father while carrying new life inside her. That symbolism? Unmatched. It's the circle of life, pain, love, legacy. Ronald Fenty, who passed away in Los Angeles in May, was 70. He died from a combination of pancreatic cancer, pneumonia, and kidney failure. Despite their public ups and downs, Rihanna had been by his side. The man whose battles once pushed them apart had, in his final chapter, found peace with his daughter. Their relationship had been rocky. In 2019, Rihanna sued Ronald, accusing him of exploiting her name through his agency, Fenty Entertainment. He was accused of pretending to be her manager to sign deals behind her back. It was messy. But just weeks before the trial was set to begin, Rihanna dropped the case. No press conferences. No apology tour. Just silence. And sometimes, silence says more than words ever could. She later admitted, "I was able to close that gap with him." That sentence, simple and sincere, now echoes louder than any court document ever could. This week's memorial wasn't just a funeral. It was a healing. Held at a landmark in Bridgetown, an arena steeped in Barbadian pride, it brought together family, friends, officials, and a community that had watched Rihanna's rise from a small bungalow on Westbury New Road, now renamed Rihanna Drive, to international stardom. The crowd was emotional. Tears were shed. Hugs were shared. But Rihanna held her head high. She wasn't just mourning. She was leading. Her grace during this deeply personal moment reminded us she may be one of the world's biggest stars, but at the core, she's still just a daughter, a mother, and a woman navigating loss. And for once, the cameras captured not a scandal, but strength. Rihanna reminded us all, family is messy. Healing is powerful. And sometimes, the greatest act of strength is showing up. Inside that gymnasium, Ronald's life was honored. Not just as Rihanna's father, but as a man, a Barbadian, a grandfather, and a human being who had stumbled, stood again, and left behind a complicated but meaningful legacy. And while the pain was palpable, so was the peace. Rihanna and her siblings stood united. There were no paparazzi inside, just moments that mattered. For a woman who's always shown strength through silence, this moment said everything. Rihanna came home not as a billionaire brand or fashion mogul, but as a daughter saying goodbye. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful celebrity moments. We don't just report headlines, we dive into the truth behind them. Stay tuned for more.